Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Listen, man, Errol Spence, he's the boxing Jesus. Errol Spence ready to give his life for the fans. And that's just a fact. This man wants to fight Crawford. Crawford seems, as the rumors are telling us, he doesn't want to budge on some things, which I just find hard to believe. But as we get more information, of course, we'll share it. Look, man, Errol Spence, look. He says, hey, this is what's planned. For me and Crawford to get in here and fight a second time in order to rescue the world and the boxing community from what we live in, from thinking that Terrence Crawford's better than me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think Terrence Crawford beats him, but I do think Errol Spence deserves the rematch. You look at Errol Spence and everything this man has gone through. He didn't have to give Terrence Crawford that fight. He gave it to him. I can only imagine what Errol Spence is going through right now and what he's feeling. Has anyone ever here done something for someone and then they turn around and prove to be that they were ungrateful? If you have gone through that, I'm 48, so I've been through that. Doesn't make you feel good. Especially when you look at Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. People don't forget, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford talked on the phone multiple times over several months. It was by Errol Spence willing to listen to Terrence Crawford's concerns, to where Errol Spence kind of saw where he was coming from and said, you know what? I don't owe him anything. But at the same time, I understand what he's saying. I want to fight. He wants to fight. You know what? All is forgiven, my child. I'm going to make the fight. So he goes back and lets everybody know, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get the party going. Fight happens. We saw what transpired. And then we come back now. Everyone is resetting. Looks like there's going to be a rematch. Errol Spence is thinking, I blessed Terrence Crawford as the boxing Jesus. He should turn around and return that blessing to me. Oh, no, that's not how it works, because we got a Judas in here. If it's true. Now, understand this. I poke fun at it. I don't have a dog in the fight. Crawford wins, Spence wins. I don't care. I just like boxing. But I'm going to tell you, as a man, I definitely think that Terrence Crawford should make that fight at 154. And then the next, if they happen to want to do a trilogy, right? Then, you know, it is what it is. Crawford dictate the terms. But for those of you who ain't following boxing like that, right? Because, you know, I understand some people just follow their favorite fighter. I follow everything. Let me tell y'all something. Eddie Hearn and AJ, I've said this in videos. You know, when they put a contract together, oh no, they no Vaseline their opponents. They are the devil. Errol Spence is not that. They'll have a contract for the first fight where AJ, when he had those titles, even now, AJ's the A side, he gets the lion's share. And the rematch, in that contract they put together, the rematch says AJ gets damn near the same split, even if he loses. And then if he loses in the second fight, then they decide to have a trilogy, then whoever the opponent is, then they get to dictate the terms. Errol Spence could have no Vaseline Terrence Crawford. He didn't do him like that. And some people say, well, that's Errol Spence's fault. He's stupid for coming out here and being a boxing Jesus and having a heart and caring about the boxing fans and forgiving Terrence Crawford and wanting to just try to be as fair as possible to him. Some people say, hey, Errol Spence made the fight with Crawford and he wants the first fight and he wants the second fight because Spence can't go anywhere to make that kind of money. Now, to that I said, there's some truth to it. Where can Errol Spence go to make that kind of money? But I'll tell you this, right? He doesn't. I'll tell you this. He doesn't need to fight Crawford to make 20 million. Errol Spence, I'm willing to bet that Errol Spence will get a bigger name fight quicker than Terrence Crawford. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just telling you the politics of boxing and how things work. Y'all want to bet some money on that? Now, let's hope it doesn't go that route, because if it does, then that just exposes the secret society, which I know exists in boxing, and you guys know exists in boxing, especially if you saw that Canelo Triple G fight, that first one, and them guys in them damn scorecards. Then you know what time it is, okay? But let's just put some things in perspective here. There were some people posting comments about Errol Spence, and he knew that he couldn't win from the car accident, then the eye injury, the inactivity, blah, blah, blah. He was just being greedy. Errol Spence really didn't care about trying to win that fight. He was just trying to get as much money as possible so he can sail off into the sunset. Now, my thing is, where are you getting that from? You know what I mean? Where'd you get that from? I honestly feel Errol Spence's mind got the best of him. Because, look, thoughts lead to actions. And Errol Spence's thoughts were, I've been trying to make this fight with Terrence Crawford for years. Crawford had said he wanted this fight for years. I promised the boxing fans to make this fight. This fight is getting further and further away from me now. They talk about fishing all the time, you know what I'm saying? Big fish, crawfish, someone gut the big fish, gonna have a crawfish boil. Let me tell you something, if you've ever gone fishing. When you're out there fishing and you're getting bites, or you see a big fish or something, a school of fish swim by, what do? You cast out to where those fish are at. And if for some reason it takes your bait, you're quick to reel that line in, rebait that hook and get it back out there. Because you know that fish that you're trying to catch can swim off and get further and further away to maybe, you don't have the reach to get your line out there to entice that fish to bite and possibly reel him in. And I truly think that's what happened with Errol Spence. I really felt like this thing getting further, further away. There's so many people involved here. I'm trying to catch the fish. They're trying to push the fish away. I need to take action. So Errol Spence did what he had to do, baited that hook, and he cast it out and set the hook and reeled in on Terrence Crawford. He didn't even have to set the drag on that. So I think his mind got the best of him, and he went into something where I think there was some underestimation from his part. But at the end of the day, there was no need for him to go and do that. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. The people behind the scenes on Errol Spence's side, Boxing Jesus, they knew there are things that are lingering, that are bothering Errol Spence. Look, you can't make me believe that Al Heyman, Derek James, and the close associates, you can't make me believe that they're not aware that maybe there's some lingering effects from the accident, the inactivity, the eye surgery, being in such tough fights like that one against Yugas was rough, Porter was rough. You can't make me believe that they're not privy to, hey, he's coming off of some pretty rough fights, he's coming off of some serious injuries, and he's coming off of inactivity. Probably not a good decision to throw him in here with Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, Boxing Jesus, Errol Spence, chose to risk his life for the fans. So it blows my mind when I see fans out here saying, no, Terrence Crawford doesn't owe him nothing for the last 5-6 years. They've basically crapped on Terrence Crawford's name. They tried to age Terrence Crawford out. Man, y'all quit being bandwagonists just because you hear somebody else say it. Errol Spence tried to age no damn Terrence Crawford out, man. All that crap going on, that other side of the street stuff, man, that had a lot to do with it too. Plus, Errol Spence already told everybody he had a mission, what he was trying to do, get all those belts. And he did that. And then he could sit down. That's the first thing he did when he won that third belt. He called Terrence Crawford out. But we know politics plays a role, but Errol Spence had a plan. If you're going to get mad at Errol Spence, I'll tell you what. If you're going to get mad at Errol Spence for not making the Terrence Crawford fight 5 years ago, okay, get mad at him for making the fight now. Because he said he was going to wait and collect the belts. Y'all got mad at that, right? And then he said, I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford, and he went and did that. But y'all still, it seemed to me like y'all just don't know if y'all want to be happy or upset about it. And no one here want to recognize the fact that this guy really sat his pride aside. And really, his position as the A side, he kind of set that aside too. And said, you know what? Whatever, let's be reasonable about things, but whatever it takes, as long as we're reasonable, let's go ahead and make this fight. And that's what they did. But I personally think the fight should be at 154. Now, this is the thing, right? This is where it can get real crazy. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, pay attention to this. They can make that fight at 147. Errol Spence can agree to the fight at 147. This is how you can win the battle and not worry about the fight. Boxing Jesus can agree to fight Terrence Crawford at 147. And he can roll up in there in the fight week. He can roll up in there and weigh 154. That just means he can't fight for the undisputed distinction, which he don't care at this point in time. And then now Terrence Crawford has to make a decision. Do I fight him at 154 and me killing myself for 147? Or do I not fight him and miss out on that payday because he came in heavy? You see what I'm saying? That's what could happen. Matter of fact, if it was me, it depends on how Errol Spence really feels about that damn undisputed distinction. That's probably what I would do. I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all want to sit here, man, and be like that? All right. Y'all came to my house and asked for a cup of sugar. Now I need a cup of flour and y'all don't want to give it to me? Okay, cool. Y'all made Kool-Aid. I can't come out here and make biscuits? All right. Boxing Jesus is going to show you. And I sure would show up in that ring at 154. And then, he already wants more money. I wouldn't give him any more money for nothing. All right, we fight at 147. And then whatever it is he was asking for at 154, I would just walk in the ring at 154 and then be prepared to give him that amount. So boom. No need for a cross-examination. Case closed. And Boxing Jesus can come out here and bless Terrence Crawford with the rematch and bless the fans. And all will be forgiven. Can't be out here doing that, man. Can't do that. And look, I truly believe Terrence Crawford has love for Errol Spence. But if it's true, remember, again, we don't know if it's all true. But he got to show some mercy here, man. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's the right thing to do. I do. And a lot of people are going to have opinion about Terrence Crawford and what he should and shouldn't do. And, oh, yeah, well, they did him wrong. Look, man, if you go dwelling in the past, you miss out on future opportunities. And I'm going to tell you right now, Terrence Crawford, depending on how he plays his cards, he could end up in a situation like Andy Ruiz. Because he has 3 fights with PBC. He got 1 out the way, he has 2 more. If for some reason this fight doesn't come to fruition, if they can't get this fight off the ground, I'm telling you, I don't think Terrence Crawford is going to be happy about who they try to put in front of him next. Because let me tell you something, when the real deal starts, if the Errol Spence rematch can't be made, Boots Ennis is going to be that guy. If not Boots Ennis, which it should be, well, then you better watch out for Keith Thurman. Pay attention. And for those who are saying, this won't happen, that will happen, you don't know that. Just like I don't know that. But what I do know is The secret society and key decision makers behind the scenes get what they want. And once you piss them off, it's all bad for you. Andy Ruiz had a chance to fight Tyson Fury. Andy Ruiz had a chance to fight Hrgovic. Andy Ruiz had a chance to fight Deontay Wilder. Andy Ruiz is no longer in contention for anything. He's just out there not begging for fights. Terence Crawford's situation a little different. He will have the undisputed distinction, but one of the WBC belt is gone right now. So he has 3 belts. He's no longer undisputed, for those of you who didn't know that. So we'll see what happens. But that being said, Errol Spence gave this man a cup of sugar to make Kool-Aid. To me, Crawford should get that man a cup of flour so he can make biscuits. Boxing Jesus is ready to have the rematch and potentially risk his life for the boxing fans a second time. But you got, in my opinion, you got to be fair about it. And this just shows you sometimes the good guy gets screwed, man. And I like Crawford, I like Spence, but this just makes me, let's see how it plays out. But this is making me kind of root for Spence a little bit. I don't think he can beat Crawford, but it is making me root for him to get the fight at 154. You know what I'm saying? Get a man a chance to come in somewhere where he feels 100%. Because you could tell Errol Spence didn't feel 100% the week of the fight. He's talking about the weight too much. You know, we don't want any excuses. Be like Mayweather. This is a case everybody want to say, oh, Bud is better than Mayweather. Bud would have done this to Mayweather. Hold your horses. Just don't take it to the stupid. I personally don't think nobody would beat Mayweather, okay? I've been watching boxing for a long time. I watch all the guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, all those guys. Sugar Ray Leonard, them guys are different animals, though. You know, Durant are different animals. But it just be hard for me to see somebody being able to just handle a guy like Floyd Mayweather. When I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather, I'm talking about the pretty boy and Money Made. Those 2 guys, I mean, it's just a different type of fighter, man. I've never seen any other fighter do the things I've seen Floyd Mayweather do. And I'm just going to be honest with you. So, one thing I'll say back, so I don't get off track, as far as Terence Crawford, hey, if y'all want to say he's better than Floyd Mayweather, cool. I ain't going to argue with you. I mean, that's your opinion. But I'll tell you this. When Mayweather had that fight with Castillo, what did he do? He rematched him. When he went out there and had that fight with Maidana, what did he do? He rematched him. Floyd Mayweather had no issue with rematching nobody when he feels like, hey, the fight was a little close, or hey, you know, the fans are saying certain things. No problem. I want to make sure you're comfortable. Hey, you want me to fight De La Hoya and I want to fight at 154? Okay, De La Hoya wants to make the fight where he's comfortable? Cool, no problem. I don't want no excuses. Okay, here we are, Terence Crawford and Spence. We got excuses now. All right, Crawford, have the rematch. Give him everything he wants. I ain't talking about the money, but the weight, whatever he needs to be comfortable. Whatever he needs to be comfortable. No rehydration clause. And get in there and tranquilize him again. And then it won't go away because that's just how some of these boxing fans are. But then you're in a good space. Give the man the rematch for what he wants as far as weight, rehydration, all that. Now, if he doesn't do that, well, then I don't know. Maybe somebody putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Or maybe it's more to it. I don't know. Maybe Bomac not being there. I don't know. We're just having a conversation. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. Boxing Jesus, Errol Spence, ready to give his life for the fans a second time. Y'all keep cool and be blessed in the breeze.